The kids are playing and laughing. The house is filled with the life you've worked so hard to build. You're committed to protecting this life and everyone in it. Life insurance from USAA can help.
Get a quote today at usaa.com/life.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, friends. Greetings, salutations. How are you doing? There is a lot of awesome energy happening right now, and I'm grateful to connect with you during this time. I hope that you're feeling it. And if you are not, I hope that you do during the course of this show, because that's what we do for each other. We help each other rise up and to feel better no matter what is happening. My name is Molly McCord, and this is our weekly podcast where we talk about the astrology and energies of right now. And in this show, I share with you the intuitive sensations I'm receiving, whether those are visuals or messages, coupled with the astrology of right now. And I hope that that brings you your own connection to yourself. I hope it reminds you of who you really are, no matter what is happening, no matter what you're feeling. Everything is temporary, and what we have to return to is our own light, our own inner place of peace and calm and presence and brilliance that we each possess, that we each have. And that's what I hope to do in this show. So thank you for joining me. We are live here every Wednesday, and I broadcast on many different channels, different podcast distribution channels, as well as YouTube. I just started my YouTube channel, and I want to give you a few updates on that because I have some select, very special things on YouTube only. One is that I do these full moon and new moon charts for you that show you how the planets are talking to each other. And you can look at the energies. You can start to interpret it more as we do, as professional astrologers do. So I use it as a teaching video as well as insights into the energies. So I have information up right now about the upcoming Sagittarius Full Moon that is exact on May 29th. You can check that out on YouTube if you want more specific information. And I also have for you on YouTube a Twin Flames Healing Journey teaching series. Now, Twin Flames is a special kind of energetic connection that you have with another person. And in these videos, I share with you what that energy is about, the spiritual growth, the healing, the emotional, energetic connections. It's unlike anything else. Your twin flame can be a soulmate, but there's many components that make it a very special connection. So if you are healing from something, if you are feeling a really intense connection to somebody, please check out this special series. I have been actually sharing about twin flames since 2012. And it started off, and it's now become this really important topic. So I want to offer you what I have come to understand about this and what you can learn from it that helps you stay grounded on this part of the experience. A few more announcements to share with you. I now have my Astrology 101 online course available. This is a 6-part course where you learn to interpret your astrology chart like a professional astrologer. And through these 6 classes, they are on demand, so you go at your own pace. You can binge and do them all in one day or one weekend, or you can do them on a daily basis. But the idea is that now you can understand your astrology chart, and you'll get answers to questions you've had your whole life. You'll understand more about your themes, your healing, your lessons, your challenges, your relationship needs, your emotional needs. So I'm so excited that this is now available. Astrology 101 online course. And when you register, I give you your natal chart, and you get a custom energy report where I give you what the main energies are in your chart to focus on, because this can be a lot to learn at once. So if you're new to astrology or you already have some understanding, this takes you deeper into the layers of energies in your chart. So please check that out. You can find a link below this show, or you can find it on my websites at consciouscoolchic.com or Conscious Intuitive Astrology. One more announcement is that I am hiring. And if you are awesome and you are proficient in online marketing and marketing strategies, I would love to talk to you about how we can work together. I have a full job posting and job description on my website. The link is below this show description. This is a side hustle kind of a gig where it's not even part-time. It's maybe like 5 hours, maybe 10 hours a week, and it'll fluctuate based on what we have going on. But this is for someone who is already up to speed with a lot of things online. And the best part is the sales commission that comes with this job, because people are making thousands of dollars online, and it's through what they sell. And you and I working together, we're gonna do some awesome things. So if that sounds like you or somebody you know, please let them know about this opening, and I hope to connect with the most perfect person for this gig. So onwards we go, because we have the sun in Gemini that's making us all so busy. And when the sun is in Gemini, life picks up pace. We talk faster, we move faster, we get impatient, we want to go. That's because when the sun transitions from Taurus to Gemini, we move out of where we were perhaps too stagnant or slow. And Gemini is the friend who walks in the door and you're like laying on the couch and you're binging on Netflix and you've been eating your favorite food, you've been in your full Taurus mood, and then Gemini busts through the door and says, come on, we got to get going. We got to go check out the new cafe down the street. And did you hear about da-da-da? And did you read about da-da-da? Gemini gets us moving and takes us out of our comfort zones back into our local community, our friends. We socialize, we talk. Gemini is active because it's all about information. Now, this can be gossip on the lower end of the spectrum, but it can also be the latest information that is relevant. It's data, details, linear. It's a storyteller. Gemini has the best stories to tell because Gemini is out and about on the town and hearing things, part of the action, and just someone who is very much about what's going on beyond themselves. Gemini energy can be restless. It can be flaky. It can be scattered. It's the parts of us that have too much going on. Now, Gemini is a sign of duality, and that means we have one thing in our right hand and one thing in our left hand, and we think with our left brain and our right brain. Gemini is about the fact that we can commit to two things at once. This is not a monogamous sign. This is a sign of I want my options. I like choices. I like possibilities. So Gemini needs stimuli, and it has a lot of curiosity. So this is why we can feel that life gets busy, because we feel there's more to do, explore, or even to understand in the world. Now, the other thing about Gemini is that it reminds us that we have to relate to people. All of the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, are about talking, information, writing, sharing, ideas, interactions. And Gemini can be in its own head too much. That is also one of the energies on the lower end of the spectrum, is that it's too much in its head. It is where you're overthinking. We can get anxiety. We can get nervous. We can worry about all the possibilities. Instead, the way to move through that, talk it out. So Gemini reminds us that you have your thoughts and ideas and things that are going on within your world. Now you need to take it out and share it with another person. And so it's really about a conversation. Gemini is the conversations we have first within ourselves and then with another person. Or if you're having a lot of conversations, you're chatty Cathy with a lot of people, you have to balance that by then pulling back and sitting in your own thoughts and your own decisions. So the interesting thing about Gemini is that there's a balance that's required, because you can do too much externally and never really ponder it internally. If you're doing too much internally, if your mind is spinning, if you're going through all these possibilities and scenarios and stories, you've got to get it out of your head. You've got to talk with somebody you trust. So Gemini reminds us to take what we're thinking and share it, and to ensure that it's a two-way street, that there's dialogue happening. Now, we have extra energy right now because the sun in Gemini is at 2 degrees, and it's trining Mars in Aquarius at 2 degrees. And so this is, anytime the sun and Mars sync up in a trine, they energize each other. And there's a sense of, I'm ready, let's go, get out the door. And in the air signs, it's why we want to relate to people. What's happening? What's going on? Let's meet up for happy hour. What are you doing this weekend? The socializing increases. You can find more invitations, more things you want to do in the world, especially, in this time of year, the end of May, it can be beautiful weather, so you want to get outside. So there's this increased energy that goes on. Now, this trine between the sun and Mars is only happening in the middle of this week, and then the sun will move ahead. But there's this sense of going for what you want, saying what you need to say. The air signs are about that communication. What do you need to say? What do you need to express? And the Mars energy gives you the courage to do it, the courage to say, well, this is what I want to do, or this is where I'm going to go next. So you can feel that there's this invigoration, and all of this is also masculine energies, that desire, that sense of I want this, I'm going to go for this, the action I'm going to take to put my ideas into motion. This is great for problem solving. This is great for exploring possibilities. If you have been mentally stuck, this is going to help break you out of that. Bill, the more that you talk with people, either they will say something or something will come through and you'll be like, I've got it. I know what to do. I'm going forward. So understand that we have momentum right now. And wherever you feel that in your world, it's going to be where the 2 degrees of Gemini and 2 degrees of Aquarius are in your chart. But you could just feel it in general. And I'm getting the image of like being in a crowd and everyone's just moving forward. It's not pushing you, but it's moving forward, right? It's kind of like that sensation of, okay, the wind is at my back and I'm moving forward. Now, with the sun now in Gemini, the sun's ruler is Mercury. So the sun is always the biggest light and the biggest energy. And so think of the sun as the chef in the kitchen who makes the calls, who's ruling the roost. That makes the ruling planet the sous chef. So the sous chef right now is Mercury, who's right there assisting the sun. And the sous chef, Mercury, is in Taurus. Now, Mercury in Taurus is actually slow, and it observes, and it assesses the price, the cost. It looks at, do I really have time for this? Do I really want this? And so Mercury in Taurus sits on things before it commits, and it takes its time. It takes its time. If you know a Taurus, you know this is the case. So as much as we're feeling this momentum and this speeding up of life, and there's more that you're thinking and saying and doing, there's a part of you that doesn't want to be overwhelmed. And you're saying, I'm just going to take a minute here. I just need a minute, or I just need 24 hours to sit with a decision, to sit with an option, to think this over. So even though life is busy, you're meant to take it slow, because the Mercury and Taurus energy helps us to stay on our feet, to not get overwhelmed by all the decisions of life. Mercury will be in Taurus until almost the end of May, so May 30th, so for another week. So what we're doing is reminding ourselves that we don't have to rush a decision, even if the outside world feels like it's applying pressure on us to do so. So give yourself that break, that pause, and it's okay to say, let me get back to you tomorrow. Let me get back to you in a few hours, whatever is suitable for your situation. But if you're feeling that you're being forced or pressured to make a choice or a decision, it's okay to buy yourself some time. Now, part of this dynamic with Mercury is that he just opposed Jupiter at 16 degrees of Scorpio. They're both fixed signs, Taurus and Scorpio, and so we could have been mentally stuck. And it could have felt like an all or nothing, but now that's breaking up. So again, the middle of this week has that momentum of new ideas and solutions. A lovely thing we have going on right now is Jupiter in Scorpio. He's retrograde, remember. Jupiter's retrograde until July. So Jupiter is retrograde right now at 16 degrees and is making this beautiful trine to Neptune in Pisces at 16 degrees. And so when you have these two bigger energies, outer planets, syncing up in a trine, you have flow, inspiration, openings, and because they're in water signs, your intuition increases, your emotional messages are clearer. You have the ability with this aspect to really connect to more trust in the transformation. Now, this energy is working with everybody, but if you have any planets or points at 16 degrees of the water signs or the earth signs, this is working with you more personally. And this energy of Jupiter trining Neptune, it's quite interesting because we have Jupiter retrograde, and that means the energy is internal. And you keep it to yourself, and you're sitting with it, and you're feeling it, and you're working through something internally. But Neptune is moving direct. And Neptune is the energy of the trust in the blind path and the sense that I know something is coming together, even when I can't see it, but I feel it. Okay, this is a feeling energy. And so don't spend too much time in your head. Come into your intuitive connections, your emotional body for more messages and to trust what you're feeling even more. This takes practice, this takes ongoing work and commitment because it's really easy to let another message override that intuition or that emotion or that feeling. But this energy, this is an opening here between Jupiter and Neptune, and it's reminding you of your feminine energies, your feminine self, and what she needs you to hear and where she needs you to listen. So I said at the beginning of the show, we have the strong masculine energy of the Sun and Mars and air signs. Well, we also have the strong feminine energies. and they're actually more powerful and they're longer lasting. This energy is going to last until May 28th, so it's a good week. And it's also bringing in the higher perspective and reminders of how you're supported as you move through a metamorphosis. And we can feel that we're alone on the ocean at times, and that you're just sailing on open seas, and then there's a big storm or the perfect storm, a tsunami at times, and then the ocean gets calm and it's a beautiful day. These are the things that all are a part of transformation, and we always have the strength to endure them. And there's energy here coming through. Like, I'm actually feeling this as when you look up into, like it's beyond your everyday world, okay? It's beyond your daily thoughts and your daily experiences. But when you really take a moment to connect to the bigger picture of your life, like, I feel it's kind of like right around the auras, there's the twinkling, beautiful lights that look like glitter, and it looks like diamond glitter, okay? And it's reminding you that this diamond light and the glitter and the brilliance is there. It's always there. And we get disconnected from it, and we're working on our tasks, and we have our to-do lists, and we're trying to keep up with all this stuff. And if you take that moment to pause it, okay, what I'm seeing now and what I'm feeling is like this beautiful diamond glitter that are perhaps like light codes. Breathe them in. Inhale them. Exhale the old. Okay? Like, intentionally take a minute to feel supported by the bigger energies, the bigger sensations, and the bigger connections. And I feel like this is so important for many people who are wanting to trust more. Because, trust and surrender are ongoing experiences in life. It's not one and done. It is not one and done. It's multiple times. And you keep going with it, and you keep experiencing it, and it's all about getting stronger in your ability to trust your angels, to trust God, to trust Source, to trust the universe, to trust life. And the more that you can do that and to know that that is being supported, it just allows you to relax. It allows for a deeper exhale. So the more you can just take the time to tune in to these brilliant diamond glittering lights and just trust it. Because I can feel how some people are really in the midst of this intense emotional energy, and it can be all-consuming. But those are only temporary experiences. They really are. They really, really are. So this is, again, where you're receiving more trust on your path. Receiving more trust on your path and allowing yourself to feel supported. And our feminine energies need that. Feminine energies receive, they soften, they trust, they allow, and they remind us that we're taken care of. I feel like this is even stronger right now because we have Venus in Cancer, where she softens and she wants to be nurtured. And she allows herself to take time for self-care for those favorite recipes in the kitchen, for, making sure she has a really comfortable, inviting bed and bedroom. And it's the places where we just want to relax and surrender. And so Venus in Cancer allows us to receive because at her best, she trusts. And she trusts herself, and she knows that she's lovable and that she's loved and that she is taken care of. However, she's coming up to an opposition with with Saturn. Saturn is at 8 degrees. It's going to be opposing Venus this weekend. That's Memorial Day weekend here in the States. So it's the 26th, 27th. And this is where Saturn brings in a reality check and asks you to make sure that you're not being too emotional or too subjective. Saturn brings us back into our responsibilities and what we have to tend to. Like, you can't just get into the cozy bed and nestle into the pillows all day and watch your favorite beautiful rom-coms. Saturn is like, you have to do some things here to take care of the house and to take care of your responsibilities. So the opposition between Venus in Cancer and Saturn in Capricorn can be hardening. Like life, you get some kind of push-pull between what you want to do but what you have to do. So that's coming up this weekend. Just a heads up, it can pertain to your finances. It can pertain to your commitments. There could be something that shows up that you're like, oh, I didn't remember, I forgot I had to do that, but you have to do it. So that takes Venus in Cancer away from her sweet spot, where she has to do something she doesn't really want to do, but she knows, okay, I'm just going to take care of it, and then I get a retreat back into my decadent, soft bed. So that's coming up. That opposition, again, is exact on the 26th and 27th. After that, Venus moves ahead. And eventually she's going to have some lovely trines coming up. In fact, she's going to make this beautiful grand trine with Jupiter in Scorpio and Neptune in Pisces. Now, this grand trine, my friends, is it's just like vacation. Like, all we want to do is be on vacation. We want to enjoy life. We want to take it easy. We want to take care of ourselves. We open up to our intuition and what we need to trust even more. We're more receptive to receiving. You could get some strong intuitive hits. You could feel that you're connected even more to your guides, your spiritual team, your angels. It's beautiful feminine energy. I mean, this is just, oh boy, it just feels so delicious. It just feels like all this sense of, I can trust my journey. I can feel safe. I can feel strong in the transformations that are underway. Now, this grand trine in water is also strong during the upcoming full moon in Sagittarius. So that is on May 29th. So we're going to have, in this full moon, strong feminine energies and strong masculine energies. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful for the sense that you can trust in yourself and you can take the actions that are right for you. This full moon in Sagittarius is at 8 degrees of Sagittarius. And it's all about the positive energies, the upliftment, what you've learned, the wisdom, your belief in yourself, and how that can sustain you. Returning to that, asking questions about that, understanding more of who you are, because you've learned from the experiences that have come your way, that you've moved through. And ultimately what a full moon in Sagittarius asks us to do is to find a new inner alignment with our true purpose and what is right for you. Because that's what you have control over. You don't have control over what someone else chooses or what their opinions are or what they believe or what they want. But this asks you to check in with what is right for you and your faith in yourself. Your faith in yourself. And it's beautifully supported with this full moon. So understand that there are energies that are helping you move forward right now. So again, that full moon is on May 29th, and I have a full video on it on YouTube. You can find the link underneath this show description right here about the Sagittarius full moon, where I talk about it even more. And that's because this is a full moon that rises you up, energetically rises you up. So look at where 8 degrees of Sagittarius is in your natal chart, and that's where you're rising up with new wisdom, new optimism, new faith, and you're being asked to look at the bigger perspective of your life. I feel like this full moon is really juicy. I love that it has these 2 grand trines in it, the masculine grand trine and the feminine grand trine. And I love that it brings back, oh, interesting. Okay. I'm hearing that it brings back what you thought you lost. Okay. Now I'm feeling tears. It pertains to Saturn's voyage through Sagittarius over the past few years, where we were really pushed to have faith in something. And you probably lost some of that faith, and you probably thought this is not going to happen, and you just gave up, or you gave in, or you surrendered, or you just were exhausted. Okay, this is really hitting a sore spot because I'm feeling so many tears right now, that this reminds you that you can't lose what's you, and you can't lose your path. And you're never lost to your angels. And you're never lost to Source, and you're never lost to God, and you're never lost to your soul's energy. Like you're never lost. It's a perception. It's an illusion. And we go through these hardships, right, where we're just tested, and you feel like you're being pulled underwater every time. And you think, all I can do is let this go. And I know that on these spiritual journeys, the discussions, we talk about surrender and letting go and trusting that something comes back around. These are related to both Sagittarius and Pisces energies. And you had to give up something. We all did, by the way. We all had to give up something that we really, really wanted. And this full moon on May 29th is like this buoy that lifts you up. And if you look back on what you thought you lost, you realize how it was a fallacy. And that what you gained through experience, through understanding, through wisdom, far surpasses that temporary, quote-unquote, loss. And I feel like this is the renewal that's coming in. Again, I'm feeling the rising. I'm feeling like what I'm getting the image of is a buoy pulled down, but it's come back up. And it can't be sunk. It's unsinkable. And there's something here that comes in for you through your intuition, which can be through a dream, a meditation, a spiritual message, an intuitive hit, anything where you're receiving from source energy, understanding and wisdom about the timing of whatever you thought you lost, okay? The timing of it. It's in hindsight that we can see things hindsight's 20/20. I'm going to throw out that cliche saying, and it's a cliche because it's true. Something's coming back around. I'm getting the image of a train track. You know, like kids have around the Christmas tree, the train track that actually just goes in circles. Well, something's coming back around on the track, and you just couldn't see it, and now it's coming back around with this full moon. And it connects to the eclipses that are coming up. I'll be doing a separate show on the 3 summer eclipses. July 12th at 20 degrees of Cancer. July 27th at 4 degrees of Aquarius. August 11th in Leo. And I'm forgetting the exact degree. Let me get that for you. This is setting you up for something. 18 degrees of Leo on August 11th. Okay, this is setting up the summer. Okay, before you go into the summer, you need to have a renewal of faith in yourself, a renewal of confidence, of trust, of all these things that we talk about. But this is meant to bring you up and ask you to believe on a higher platform. Like I'm literally seeing the word believe in all caps on an elevated platform. I mean, it can't get more literal than that. So believe more. Because the eclipses of this summer, there's 3 of them, which is rare. Normally we just have 2 eclipses. It's ensuring that you are at the right energy space for the changes, shifts, and new energies of this summer. So if you're at a lower platform in your beliefs about what is possible, what can transpire, what can unfold, what blah, 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 you have let go of the perception that you lost something, and it's like you're just releasing it out of your hands, and you're stepping up onto this higher platform. And it's a big, like it's like one of those higher like it's the next a step up on a staircase where the stairs are like 2 feet high. You know, and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to step up there? Well, maybe you crawl, maybe you do a running leap, maybe you just do a really big step up. But it's an elevation, and it has to be. It can't be a small step. Like this is a dramatic step up in energy, in belief in yourself, in belief in what you know you want. There's something here about really strong clarity of what you want and feeling that strong energy as you step up onto that next platform. And so this full moon is setting the stage for that and asking that of you. Are you ready? Can you elevate? Can you believe more? Can you step up to this next platform? And the energies are so pow, pow, pow that you can. And it might, depending on where 8 degrees of Sagittarius is for you, either you do that willingly or you feel you struggle with it, especially if you have anything in Virgo at 8 degrees because you're trying to figure out the how, or Pisces 8 degrees because you're trying not to go into self-doubt or discouragement or disappointment. But the energy here is saying, oh, you know what? This is so funny. Okay, now I just saw the image of if you feel like you're stuck on the one step and you're like, how do I get up to that next level, that next platform? I'm seeing the image of a hot air balloon. Okay, all you do is you hop in the hot air balloon and you just rise up, all right? You don't have to struggle up to this next platform. You just rise up to that platform and you get out of your hot air balloon and there you are. I I feel that I give you these visuals so you know how to direct the energy, right? Because now you're like, oh, that's how I get there. I don't have to struggle. I don't have to claw my way up to that platform. I can just be, this lovely, graceful being who arrives at the next platform. That's what this full moon is doing, my friends. And with Jupiter trining Neptune in it, like you've got all the air and the trust for that hot air balloon. And that's why there's an activation of your feminine energies, because all the masculine stuff is like, well, what do I have to do? What do I have to figure out? What do I need to take care of? And this is an energetic thing. This is the spiritual ascension process where it's bigger than you, and our own minds don't even have all the answers. We just have to direct the energy. So now until that full moon on May 29th, you are seeing yourself glide or fly, or perhaps you sprout some angel wings and you just arrive at this next platform where you're standing next to believe in all caps, and you're feeling confident and strong for what unfolds in the next 3 months. And I feel like some of you are afraid to be alone on that platform. So then you need to visualize yourself surrounded by support and angels and whatever awesome, beautiful beings you feel loved by. But I also feel, this is interesting, you're not meant to be with another person, okay, on your platform, because you're meant to be doing this work on your own, within yourself. This is part of that inner work stuff that we do on our own that you have to strengthen. Have you ever gone to the gym and you see people who are so in shape and you're like, I want their abs? And your trainer says, okay, Molly, then you have to do all the work. And you're like, oh, that's a lot of work to get those abs. Can I just have them? She's like, nope, sorry, Molly, you have to do all the planks, all the side planks, all the ab work, all the sit-ups, all the crunches to get that. And you're like, all right, I guess I'll do it because I want that. So that's what this is about. You have to do your own work. You can't just show up and say, I want what they're having, and it happens. The spiritual work is something we always do on our own. And that's why you're meant to feel strong standing on that platform. In your own energy, surrounded by the energies that support you. And again, all caps, believe, because it's a dynamic summer we have coming up. Okay, we covered some good stuff here. I hope this was helpful for you and right on time for the messages that you need. Thank you for your comments, subscriptions, and likes. And be sure to check out the other video on the Sagittarius Full Moon. Don't forget, I'm hiring, and I know I'm going to find the most awesome person, and I'm so excited. Like, I already feel their energy. So if you know this person, I feel this is going to be an awesome win-win. If you are healing from a deep relationship connection or you need more support about the Twin Flames healing journey, please check out my teaching series. And don't forget that you can learn more about your natal astrology chart in my new Astrology 101 online course. A lot of previous students have loved it, and I hope that it supports you too. Thank you for being here. I'll see you back here next Wednesday, right after this full moon, and we're going to keep going strong. I'll see you next week. Thank you, friends.
The kids are playing and laughing. The house is filled with the life you've worked so hard to build. You're committed to protecting this life and everyone in it. Life insurance from USAA can help.
Get a quote today at usaa.com/life.
The kids are playing and laughing. The house is filled with the life you've worked so hard to build. You're committed to protecting this life and everyone in it. Life insurance from USAA can help.
Get a quote today at USAA.com/life.